But recently there have been some more work looking at 25, 50, and 100 authors, and still showing relatively high levels of accuracy. So that would indicate someone's writing style is very unique. But some of the methods that show a big drop in accuracy once they get past 10 authors would maybe say otherwise. So I think it depends on the style, and but I would say, given how easy it is to modify some of these systems, your writing style is possibly not as unique as it could be, but then again, maybe it's just because we're looking at the wrong features. So it's kind of a hard question to answer.
Okay, further questions, please?
When I ask this, can't wait to be filmed when asking. So, if you were to use like something like Moses or Babelfish to translate your writing into another language and then back again, someone just mentioned it to me right now, but people have said that before perhaps that will help. I think that's probably not a good protection, but I don't have any hard data. Could you speak to that point?
Yeah, we haven't tried that yet, but that's something we've thought about. I also don't think it would necessarily be too good a protection, because certain things like, depending on what language you're using, I would imagine certain things like sentence length and word complexity wouldn't change too much, although, again, it totally depends on the language you use. Also, one of the things we're talking about in the tool is maintaining the semantic structure of the text, and not all these translation methods are the best and might lose some of the meaning in between. And finally, I think, at least in this attack, when we asked people to hide their writing style, we said, could you please do so in such a way that if someone looked at the paper, it wouldn't raise an eyebrow. It wouldn't have really disjoint text. It wouldn't have really big problems that someone would say, something definitely happened to this document. That might not always be a requirement, but I think that would possibly break that. I think someone would probably see that this looks like it was translated. It doesn't make sense. There's some words that weren't translated, and so on. So it could help, but I don't know how much yet.
Further questions?
You mentioned attacks that work against the classifiers you built, but have you looked at extracting... You mentioned attacks that work against the classifiers you built. Have you looked at extracting different features that still fall out into the classes you originally had?
So using the same classifiers that we had, but adding more features to them? Yeah, I mean, I have done more work looking at function words, looking at bigrams and unigrams of text, things like that. They've all shown somewhat similar results, though not all of them are as effective as others. But there are just there are lots of stylometry papers out there. There are lots and lots and lots of methods, and a lot of them use similar techniques, and we think we covered a lot of those techniques. But certainly there's always going to be room for exploration of more features, and I'd imagine that if there's any sort of arms race that goes on here, it'll take that form of people figuring out other features that could be used that maybe haven't been looked at yet.
Okay, we still have time for further questions. This seems not to be the case. So,
I think
in the back. Thank you.
Do you have any intuition how aging affects these tools? Like, would a child change its writing style? Would an adult change its writing style?
So I don't know if it would be age in particular, but a standard known thing in stylometry is that writing style does they say writing style does gradually change over time. And that might be related to age or might be related to other things. But did you have a comment? Okay, this is Rachel, my advisor and co-author. She just said, go ahead.
Well, there are some papers that, I don't know how to stop this from being awful feedback, but there are some papers that talk about extracting from larger sets of authors, just like demographic information, and one of the things they can usually extract is things like gender and age.
Okay, the very last question, if there's need for this?
If no.
Can you see someone?
If not, I just want to, there's a couple I want to touch on here because I get asked them a lot.
Okay, maybe 3 more minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Then the others is fine?
Well, there's actually one kind of a rule I want to bring up, because if anyone else can help me with this, that'd be great. So one question I get often is, I know a person in some three-letter organization that has methods that are certainly way better than your methods, and I really think that these attacks wouldn't work on them. And then I ask to meet this person or talk to them and say, oh, no, I can't do that. So if anyone has claims like that or has ideas like that and there are methods that I can test or look at, I'd be very interested. So if you hear of anything like this, anyone that claims they have like really good methods, I would just really like to test any of our attack data on it. So I just want to put that out there.
So you have still 2 more minutes you can still
okay. And I don't know, what other ones would be especially interesting? When will our data set be released? That's going to depend on, getting the IRB approval. And, again, someone else said I can think of features for the stylometry system that maybe you didn't consider. Again, I would like to hear them. There's a lot of papers out there. And I hope that once we're able to release this data set, people can kind of have at it and pick it apart and find methods that work better or worse, or maybe do some wider survey of a larger number of stylometry techniques. So I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
There should be the panel for WikiLeaks and censorship in 10 minutes right here in this tent, if I'm informed correctly.